EFCC probes Ex-NNPLC GMD, Kyari others over alleged mismanagement of funds. In the NPCL, reduces fuel price to 910 naira per litre. Nigerian army battles a swept terrorist in Yobe. Another foreign ex-junta leader, Ligwe, is sworn in as Gabon's new president. And welcome to Trust News Update. I am Chiamaka Mwafo. Thank you for joining us. No fewer than 14 officials of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPCL), including two former chief executives, Mele Kyari and Abubakar Yorodua, are currently under investigation by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) over alleged misappropriation of funds and abuse of office. This is according to a letter addressed to the NNPCL. In the letter addressed to the Group Managing Director of the firm and dated April 28, 2025, the EFCC requested certified through copies of the emoluments and allowances of the affected persons, both former and current employees. The affected persons listed by the EFCC include the former Group Chief Executive Officer Mele Kyari, Ibrahim Onoja, Mustafa Magaji, Abubakar Lawal Yaradua, Isiaka Abdulrazak, Umar Ajia, Dikko Ahmed, and Ademoye Adeniyi Jalili. Others are Kayode Olusegun Adetokunbo, Effiok Michael Akpan, Jimoh Olasukomi, Bello Kankaya, and Desmond Inyama. The investigation is linked to the funds allocated for the rehabilitation of the Port Harcourt Refining Company Limited, Warri Refining and Petrochemical Company, and Kaduna Refining and Petrochemical Company. EFCC spokesperson Dele Oyewale, who confirmed that the probe is ongoing, however, did not disclose further details. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has reduced its retail price of premium motor spirit. It was observed on Saturday that NNPCL retail outlets along Kubwa Expressway, Zone 4, Abuja and Gudu, all in the Federal Capital Territory, have readjusted their fuel pump price to 910 naira per litre from 935 naira. This also showed that the state-owned firm reviewed its petrol price downwards by 20 naira. The fresh price drop in NNPCL retail prices has resulted in motorists trooping to NNPC fueling stations as of Saturday. The price drop by NNPCL retail outlets is the latest outcome of the ongoing price war in the downstream sector of the petroleum industry. MRS filling stations and other Dangote refinery partners currently sell petrol for 910 naira per litre. Trust TV recalls that Dangote refinery announced a drop in its petrol export price to 835 naira per litre. Operatives of the Nigerian Army under Heading K are currently locked in a case-gone fight with fighters of the Islamic West Africa province following an attack on the town of Buningari in Yobe State. Details of the battle was made known via the agency's ex-formerly Twitter handle on Saturday. The terrorist statement said troops of Operation Heading K currently in a fierce battle against a swap attack at Buningari, Yobe State. Details later. We'll bring you details in our subsequent bulletins. In political matters, the All Progressives Congress (APC) in Delta State has directed all its local government and ward chairmen across the state to immediately commence registration of all newly defected members from the People's Democratic Party (PDP) without any preconditions or demands, including letters of resignation from the PDP. APC State Chairman Omoni Sobete gave the directive through the APC State Publicity Secretary Valentine Onojeho. The APC said the directive follows the unprecedented political realignment witnessed on the 28th of April 2025, during which the entire executive structure of the PDP, spanning from the ward level to the state level, joined the state governor and other leaders to formally defect to the APC. This momentous development signals a new era for our great party and must be handled with a sense of unity, inclusion and openness. The party instructed all functionaries at the grassroots to eliminate any bureaucratic hurdles, red tape or procedural bottlenecks that may hinder the seamless registration and integration of these new members, saying any act capable of alienating or discouraging new entrants from participating fully in party activities shall not be tolerated. According to the APC, this is a time of growth, unity and strategic consolidation for the APC in Delta State, urging all party leaders and faithful to demonstrate the spirit of brotherhood, accommodation and progressiveness as it welcomed new members. In Adamawa State, the government has dismissed rumours regarding Governor Ahmadu Umaru Fintiri's potential defection to the All Progressives Congress APC. Now, this clarification was made during the first quarter media briefing for 2025. And Trust TV's Gibson Suadigo tells us more from Yola.
The briefing brought together journalists for updates on the successes achieved by the governor in the first quarter of 2025. To begin the session, Judge Kushi, the principal special advisor to Governor Fintiri, addressed rumors about the governor possibly being one of the People's Democratic Party governors likely to switch to the APC. He recalled that his principal successfully chaired the last PDP National Convention, which he believes has strengthened the party's trust in him for a second term.
I want you to put aside rumors you hear from peddlers that His Excellency is leaving the PDP to APC. He is not plotting. So His Excellency Governor Ahmadu Umaru Fintiri remains a bona fide member of the PDP. He is not leaving.
Kushi reported on the recent recurring attacks in Hong local government area, explaining the state's broader role in addressing insecurity.
The attacks within the fringes of the Hong area is an insurgency attack. Boko Haram attack. Now, Boko Haram has been a menace to this country, not even this state, to this country. Within the part of government, a lot of security measures have been taken where the local vigilantes have been mobilized.
The ongoing controversy surrounding the chairmanship succession in Fofore local government following the passing of its elected chairman was also addressed by the chief press secretary to the governor, Umashi Wonosiko, who asserted that his principal is a true Democrat who has respect for the rule of law.
Nobody has said that peace will be locked out. No. As we sit this morning, peace is the person at the helm of affairs in Fofore local government. So if she is the one at the helm of affairs of Fofore local government, she has not been removed, we cannot say that peace is not the one in charge. As we speak, she is the one in charge.
During the parley, they highlighted the governor's efforts in youth empowerment, security, employment, and plans for power generation to serve the state and its surrounding areas. Gibson Soadgo, Trust TV News, Yola.
Over in Zamfara State, the Speaker of the State House Assembly, Bilyaminu Ismail, says he will not comment on the purported parallel seating by the suspended members of the House, saying he will wait for the court's decision on their suspension. Ismail stated this while briefing journalists in Gusau, the state capital, on the successes and challenges of the state legislature, used the opportunity to commiserate with victims of attacks in Plateau and Benue states in north-central Nigeria. Here's more.
In February 2024, the Zamfara State House of Assembly was immersed in a crisis which led to the suspension of about 10 members of the House. The crisis resulted in parallel sitting by two factions of the House, a development the Speaker Bilyaminu Ismail did not augur well for the people of the state. He described the invasion of the State House of Assembly and destruction witnessed in 2024 that later led to the suspension of the members involved in the act as some of the challenges faced by the Assembly.
Enable democratic setting, harmonious collaboration among the executive, legislature, and judiciary is vital to achieving shared goals. I am proud to note that the relationship between the 7th Assembly and the other arms of government has been cordial and productive. This synergy has contributed immensely to tangible progress in security, infrastructure, education, healthcare, and human capital development.
The Speaker applauded the effort of Governor Dauda Lawal's administration in tackling the security challenges bedeviling the state and pledged the lawmakers' support to ensure that peace returns to Zamfara. He said the House passed 43 bills, including a bill for the establishment of the Zamfara State Security Trust Fund, aimed at ensuring funds and resources are in place to prosecute the ongoing war against banditry in order to restore peace and security in the state.
The legislature is mandated to make laws, provide oversight, and effective representation. During the period under review, guided by our constitutional duties and the aspiration of our constituents, we have made considerable progress across various sectors of human endeavor. Legislative frameworks. Lawmaking remains the cornerstone of any legislative institution. I am pleased to inform you that the 7th Assembly has deliberated often and passed over 43 bills. Notable among them are Zamfara State Community Protection Guard Law, Zamfara State Security Trust Fund Law, Zamfara State Consolidated Revenue Law, Zamfara State Public Expenditure Control Law, Zamfara State Economic Planning Board Establishment Law.
The Zamfara lawmakers said the assembly is poised to enact laws that will impact positively on lives of Zamfara state people.
Dozens of outraged passengers, including expatriates, children and families, were left stranded overnight at Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja after Air Peace abruptly cancelled multiple flights. Reports say passengers were forced to sleep on cold, hard aluminum chairs in the departure hall. Videos and photographs show frustrated travelers protesting the airline's negligence, with some standing in anger and demanding answers while others sat helplessly. Passengers' anger was amplified by a wave of cancellations that have plagued Air Peace recently, a situation that has sparked a clash between the airline and the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority. While the NCAA has warned the airline to put an end to its serial delays and cancellations, Air Peace claims the actions are safety-driven and in the interest of the passengers.
We are here at the Abuja airport. It's past 12 midnight. We are stranded, waiting for Air Peace to lift to 10 p.m. And at this time, we were what this has become.
You're still on to news updates on Trust TV. Up ahead, we'll take a look at how rising shop rent sends corner traders to traffic light spots and streets. When we return, please stay with us. Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Now a recap of our top stories. We told you that EFCC probes Ex-NNPLC GMD, orders over alleged mismanagement of funds. We also told you that NNPCL has reduced fuel price to 910 naira per litre. In Kano State, the government has strongly responded to corruption allegations made by a former secretary to the state government, Buffer Bichi, stating that his removal was not solely due to health concerns as previously announced. In a viral video circulating online, Bichi accused Governor Abba Yusuf's administration of massive corruption, claiming it far exceeded the misdeeds of the previous administration under Abdullahi Ganduje. Reacting to the claims on Friday, the State Commissioner for Information and Internal Affairs, Ibrahim Weya, described the allegations as politically motivated, unfounded, and an attempt to mislead the public. Weya challenged the former SSG to provide verifiable evidence. He also clarified the circumstance surrounding Bichi's exit from the government. The state government reiterated its commitment to good governance and urged the public to disregard what is called baseless and diversionary claims aimed at distracting the administration from its service to the people. It will be recalled that Bafabichi was removed from office on March 29, 2024 in what was described at the time as a major political shake-up that also affected several other commissioners and top aides within the Yusuf administration. Hawking around traffic lights on major roads and capture merchandising have become a vital part of Nigeria's informal economy, providing a daily income for many, especially youth and those unable to afford shops. But despite the hustle and hope, hawking in traffic comes with its share of challenges. In this report, Abdulaziz Ibrahim takes a closer look at the daily obstacles and struggles, survival strategies of hawkers at major traffic stops in Kano.
At busy junctions across Nigerian cities, traffic light hawkers are a familiar sight. Men, women, and even young boys engage in what could be called opportunistic marketing, using the few minutes of the red lights to sell anything from snacks to phone accessories. Not all who crowd these intersections are traders. Some are simply here to seek financial help. Hawkers carefully position themselves to capture the attention of motorists during each pause in traffic. For Muhammad, Jummai, and Rabiu, hawking is a daily grind born out of economic necessity. They take advantage of traffic and weather patterns to push their goods and earn a living. I have been selling pure water here at this junction for long. At times, I make between 1,500 naira to 3,000 naira. But on special days like on Hawan Nasarawa, I make up to 7,000 or 8,000 naira a day. I sell matches and spices here at this junction. Some days I make 2,000 to 3,000 naira. It's because of the high cost of living that I had to come out here. I sell face masks when it's cold, but now that the weather is hot, I sell soft drinks at this Magwan traffic because there is more profit in it. Magaji, another hawker, said he turned to street trading after being unable to afford a formal shop. He dreams of someday owning one, but for now, the roadside is his only option. I don't have money to pay for a shop at the market, but this business is one that you can invest a small amount of money to make a living, but it's stressful and risky at times. So my desire is to grow to the point that I can live here to join those doing business in the market. Like Magaji has said, the business isn't without its challenges. Some individuals impersonate hawkers to commit fraud, while others sell substandard or even expired products. There are also serious safety concerns for both hawkers weaving through the moving cars and for the motorists. To bring order to the chaos, Suleiman, the vice chairman of the Hawkers Association at Magwan Traffic Light, says they have adopted a permit system to formalize their operations and curb bad practices. Whoever comes here to sell goes through our registration process, where he or she must have a guarantor, and we provided T-shirts with numbers for those who move between vehicles to sell their items. At times, we have challenges with customers, and those transport vehicle drivers usually drive very dangerously, so we have encountered problems with them. Despite frequent reports of harassment by law enforcement officers, Suleiman explains that organizing themselves and making structured payments has helped reduce clashes and allowed their trade to survive.
This time we pay the Araji. The state government, they are coming to collect the tax for our union. Because we gather the Araji for our union, we collect for our people to gather the Araji to give the government. Even this one, because we finished our paying tax for this week.
While their trade may be seen as a nuisance to some, for many of these individuals, it's a lifeline which comes with every red light. Abdulaziz Ibrahim, Trust TV News, Kano.
In business, 8 OPEC Plus member countries on Saturday announced that they will increase oil production for June. According to the statement, Saudi Arabia, Russia and 6 other members of the oil-producing countries will implement a production adjustment of 411,000 barrels a day in June, up from May's 137,000 barrels. The group said the decision was after the 8 OPEC Plus countries, namely Saudi Arabia, Russia, Iraq, UAE, Kuwait, Kazakhstan, Algeria and Oman, which previously announced additional voluntary adjustments in April and November 2023, met virtually to review global market conditions and outlook. The increase is equivalent to 3 monthly increments. The 8 countries reiterated their collective commitment to achieve full conformity with the Declaration of Cooperation, including the additional voluntary production adjustments that were agreed to be monitored by the Joint Market Monitoring Committee during its 53rd meeting held on April 3rd, 2024. They also confirmed their intention to fully compensate for any overproduced volume since January 2024. Gabon on Saturday swore in President-elect Brice Oligui Nguema, who led a coup ending decades of Bongo family rule and swept polls last month with nearly 95% of the vote. The general and former junta leader, who toppled Ali Bongo in August 2023, ending 55 years of dynastic rule by the Bongo family, officially takes the presidential reins after leading a 19-month transition government. Some 20 African heads of state arrived for the inauguration ceremony at a stadium north of the capital, Libreville, while supporters decked out in T-shirts and flags bearing Oligui's likeness packed out the 40,000 capacity venue. Leaders in attendance included Gambia's Adama Barrow, Senegal's Bassirou Diomaye Faye, Djibouti's Ismail Omar Guelleh and Teodoro Obiang Nguema Bansogo from Equatorial Guinea. The 50-year-old Oligui faces serious challenges in leading the oil-rich country, which needs to revamp crucial infrastructure and diversify its economy, but is heavily indebted. The cardinals of the Catholic Church held their night in a series of nearly daily meetings at the Vatican on Saturday ahead of the election of a new pope. The closed-door general congregations allowed them to discuss the challenges the new pontiff will face before they are locked into the Sistine Chapel on Wednesday for the vote. Walking through crowds of pilgrims and journalists for the morning meeting, the so-called princes of the church gave little away, not even speculating how long the conclave would last. The cardinals were called to Rome from around the world after the death on April 21 of Pope Francis. On Wednesday, 133 of them will enter the Sistine Chapel and not leave until they have, after a series of secret ballots, given a 2/3 majority to Francis's successor. In sports, Atalanta winger Ademola Lookman has been identified as a summer transfer target for Arsenal. According to Sky Sports transfer expert Florian Plettenberg, the Gunners have looked Lookman on their radar ahead of the summer transfer window. Mikel Arteta's side are keen to reinforce their forward line at the end of the season as they beat to compete for honours domestically and in Europe. Lookman has Premier League experience, having played for Everton, Fulham and Leicester City in the past. The Nigerian international has enjoyed another prolific campaign for Atalanta, scoring 18 goals and providing 7 assists in 37 appearances across all competitions. Lookman is expected to end his 3-year stint with Gianpiero Gasperini's side at the end of the season. That concludes news updates at this time. For more news, programs and documentaries, to what to follow us on our social media platforms and on our YouTube live stream. I'm Shamaka Mwafo. Thank you for joining us at this time. Good evening.